Hello networkers, and welcome back to another episode of Ask the Network Engineer, where I answer one of your questions. And in this episode, I'm going to do another Q&A. I got some great questions that I can quickly answer, so let's go ahead and get started. The first question is from June Chun. Thank you for your question. And he asks, I enjoy your style of real world networking or training. That's basically what's really important at the end of the day, learning how to do things in a practical environment. So his question is really about, will Route Hub be offering tutorials for expressway design and implementation? This is Cisco's next wave to push cloud collaboration. There isn't good tutorials out there just yet. Okay, let's quickly talk about that. Okay, so yeah, this has been a question that I sometimes get as a sales request. And it is something that we do want to create. But there are a lot of limitations, specifically licensing limitations for creating such a package. And we're not the only ones. There are other vendors that are having the same problem. But there are other issues as well. The main thing is basically the demand. The demand for collaboration has drastically decreased over the last couple of years. I remember, which I probably mentioned in other videos, that I was very busy with a lot of collaboration work. A lot of collaboration work for companies, enterprise, medium, small business, you name it. Basically, because of cloud collaboration and things being pushed up to the cloud, there are not many companies, medium to even large companies, that are not focusing on a on-premise collaboration solution. Where my particular workload for those kind of projects have become very minimal compared, like almost 50% at this point compared to what it was just a few years ago. So I really think that the demand for that has really gone down. So the demand of creating a training package for Expressway is not a high priority for a lot of particular vendors, but most importantly, or at least for my case, the demand is a concern for me. But the second thing is that there's a lot of limitations of preventing us from actually wanting to create that package because of the licensing restraints that is currently out there. One of my personal challenges is I do consulting, but I also do training. So I kind of do them really 50-50. And that's really important because the training that we do is coming from practical deployments in my customer environments. Projects that we're working on, SDN, wireless, data center, all that is coming from these particular environments. Just more of a smaller scale for the actual video series that we create. So one of the challenges is that I deployed Cisco Expressway before, but it was for customer projects with very tight timelines, deadlines basically. So I couldn't just spend more time in creating basically an outline and what I want the training package to be and use the customer's environment as my test bed for the video series. I don't have that kind of flexibility because doing video series, it takes a lot of time. I think a lot of YouTube creators kind of mention that when we create these videos, it takes a lot of time for us to do this stuff. It's not like let's record and then we're done. There's planning that we have to do. There's editing, there's research. There's a lot of stuff involved for all of this here. And I simply just can't utilize a customer's environment and say, hey, give me 3 months so I can make my training package. That simply just doesn't happen because of the actual timeline. So that's one of the issues with that. So my final point is I do want to do this training package for our company. I think it would be very valuable. So I am looking at other options for how that could work. And honestly, it may really involve doing a crowdfunding project to pull that off if needed. But when I get more information, if you guys want to help out somehow, I am happy to do so. I have reached out to Cisco and the sales engineers, even my close friends who work at Cisco as sales engineers. They're not doing a lot of collaboration these days. They're doing a lot of cloud computing data center environments. So that's why I think the demand is so low, because Cisco and their SCs, they're not doing a lot of work in that area like they used to. Okay, so again, I just want to kind of just put it out there. If you guys want to help with that, please contact us. We can definitely work something out. And this question, moving on, the next question is from Igura0. I am sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm horrible at pronouncing things. I really am. Very simple question. Can you specialize with design? The short answer is absolutely. You can be a network architect, but that is typically seen in large, very large environments where design work is going to be a lot of. For small, medium environments, you won't typically see that. Most environments basically will have a senior network engineer, which would do the operational stuff and the architecture type stuff. That happens a lot. And that's actually a good value add because you have good experience of operational support and with design and best practices. Furthermore, there are certifications that you can actually pursue with a design specialty. And with the Cisco track, there's the CCDA starting out, then there's the CCDP, there's the CCDE, which again is the expert level, is the equivalent of the CCIE. Then there's also the Cisco Certified Architect position, but a lot of people don't talk about that. Only like a handful of people really have that. So you can specialize with that, but doing that as a full-time job is going to be really, really rare unless you do consulting for large organizations and there's companies that are looking for design work, but you're also going to do some operational stuff. We're technical people, we're network engineers. Configuration and support is the biggest thing that we will do. Moving on, our next question is from a fellow networker himself, which I have answered a question before, Michael Delgado. Welcome back, my friend. This question he asked actually a long time ago, but let me just read the question first and then we'll get into it. So he wanted to ask if I could do a video, an episode regarding networking tools, both hardware and software beyond the CLI stuff of pings and trace routes, things like that. Hardware tools that I would recommend. Software tools used for training, documentation, troubleshooting, and management. Yeah, let's talk about that. So, Michael, you have asked this question a long time ago, and not trying to ignore you. It was a very difficult question to answer for me, being honest, because I have very strong opinions about network monitoring tools. And I figured, you know what, let me just say it right now, my feelings, and that is I do not like network monitoring tools. They simply do not work. There's a particular saying that I use a lot all the time. And actually I got this from someone talking about diet routines and exercise routines. I guess more for diet, weight loss kind of routines. Do you know why when you walk into a store, there's like all of this diet medicine and weight loss? Because they don't work. If they work, there'll just be one or two of them on the shelf. Network monitoring is exactly the same thing. Over the last 20 years, I've seen networking vendors, network monitoring software and tools come and go one after another. There is so many tools out there that every month, every week, there's always someone else producing, hey, we can monitor your network, the performance, the faults, configuration management, IP management. It is endless. It is endless. And the problem with these particular products is a series of things. One, they seem to be really more specific to work for particular environments with a particular requirement they may have. But I have always seen companies always complain about, I wish that this product could do this. I wish it could do that. That is a very constant thing that I have been dealing with for several years. And it got to a point like 5 years ago, I just stopped all of it altogether. I think network monitoring tools, hardware or software, it doesn't matter. It is unreliable. When I did work for the Department of Energy, we actually had several different network monitoring systems. We went to the trade shows. We went to Cisco networkers and we're talking to them. They give great presentations about, hey, this is what you can do. You can protect your network. You can monitor the faults. You're being proactive, right? It is not like that in real life. You actually deploy it. You spend a lot of time maintaining the system itself. It gives unreliable information. Sometimes it says, hey, this site is up. The site is not up. The site is down. We can actually confirm that. I lost a few customers because of enterprise software not monitoring a network correctly. And they had to cancel this kind of a contract that we were actually monitoring their network. And yes, everything is all up to date and basically based on the standards for that vendor. And it wasn't just one, it was something that happened all the time. The other problem that I have is the outrageous pricing model. I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors when they're making their decisions, but I think that the pricing for some of the monitoring tools out there is bizarre. One of those examples, I'm just going to say it, is SolarWinds. I really cringe whenever anyone says SolarWinds to me. I remember there was a tool a long time ago that I simply loved. It was the one tool that I said, finally, someone got it right. It was called Kiwi Cat Tools. I love this little piece of tool. It cost me only $50. And basically, I could manage hundreds of routers. That's what I did. I used Cat Tools to manage all my routers, all my switches for password changes, config changes. I had scripts. I was rocking it. Well, recently, Kiwi Cat Tools, well, not recently, it was many years ago, sorry. Kiwi Cat Tools was acquired by SolarWinds. Go to their website and see how much it costs now. It costs like $500 to do exactly the same thing. So, and that leads me to my next rant about network monitoring tools. I know personally exactly how these tools are coded. I know what's under the hood. I know exactly how they're doing their discovery, they're doing SNMP. I know all of it. And proof of that, I actually did a video series, which is our Python for Network Engineers series, where I kind of give you a glimpse of basically what these people are doing. It's not that hard to create this. Yes, you have the nice graphical user interface, the pretty reports. It's the graphical kind of components, the templates that are used. But everything behind the scene, I cringe because most people don't know that. It is very easy. Why do you think there's so many network monitoring tools out there? Because coding it behind the scenes is easy. It's just basically getting a very nice user interface in front of it that can make people go, ooh, ah. So, yeah, you can tell that it hits a spot for me. That really hits a spot for me. I do not like network monitoring tools. So basically, I just stopped recommending network monitoring tools for any of my customers. And I actually code it myself. So customers basically say, we want, I said, look, let's keep it simple. What do you want in terms of network monitoring, right? Because a lot of people say, we want pretty reports. Why do you want the reports? Are you going to look at them? A lot of people don't really look at reports. I noticed that. People like the idea of reports, but who's looking at it? Who is doing the analysis of those things? Some companies actually don't do that. Some do. Okay, some are really particular about looking at their reports every week or every month, depending on what they're actually looking for. But basically, I do projects for customers that say, hey, I want to monitor this, I want this information, and I do the coding myself specific to their requirements, and that's it. I don't recommend network monitoring software, configuration management tools, IP addressing management. We can do it ourselves with coding. So, I'm sorry, Michael, I know it's probably not the answer that you want to hear, but I really had to let this out because I have seen network monitoring tools fail constantly year after year with their high price tag. They're not reliable, and I know exactly how they're coded under the hood. Okay, let's get to a much simpler question here. All right, so this next question is from Yushi, and I think he has also posted some questions before in the past. Welcome back, thank you. So he says a lot of things here, so I want to basically summarize what he says. So long story short, why isn't RouteHub, why isn't the videos that we have on Udemy, the Udemy website? Because everything is in one place, it's easier to find things like that. So sure, let's talk about that. So first things first, our website has been reorganized. I think we did this like 2017 in the summer or in the fall or something like that. Actually, before we released our Python series, because we realized it was hard to place that into the categories on the website. So the website has been basically organized based on, you can search for training based on the vendor or based on the solutions or the technology. So there are a lot of particular people that come to me and they say, we're looking for security training. We're looking for data center training. We're looking for Cisco training. So basically the website allows you to navigate and to get to the particular training sections that interest you. Now, in terms of Udemy, we actually really did look at Udemy probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and quickly determined it wasn't a good fit. One, the pricing model or the compensation, I guess, for the content creators was actually insulting. It was not a fair kind of distribution and that we wanted to actually do. Two, there was a lot of security concerns with basically their website. So it was security related, and we did not want to be part of that system. And three, we felt like that there is still a huge demand, that people still like the download based model, but we are going to build our own website to do streaming the videos. Okay, no downloading though, so it'll be more like a subscription based like any other site. So we rather do it ourselves. So we're currently working on that, the security. There's a lot of moving parts with that, but that is something that we are considering. And we're done with this episode. So if you have any questions about being a network engineer, post those questions below in the comments, and your question will come up in the future episode on this channel. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. That would mean a lot. And support us at routhub.net. I am proud to announce that we release another advanced training package for network engineers and getting you ready to become network developers. The training package is learning how to deploy an SDN solution using OpenFlow, but most importantly, teaching you about network programmability, REST APIs, and controlling how traffic is forwarded across the data center environment. So check that out for more details. And until next time, keep networking.